Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Harstem. Today we're going to be looking at exactly how I practice my build orders, how I write them down, and we of course have a new build order as well, a Zest versus Cure game that I recently watched. I was impressed with the build order that Zest played there, so we're just going to be going over that. It's really a relatively short build. It will go up to like maybe 5 minutes or so. It's an aggressive one, so if you're going to be capable of copying this one properly, you'll at least should be able to make it into your diamond level. Diamond 2, let's say Diamond 2. If you can copy this build perfectly, you'll get Diamond 2, at least against Terran. I'll explain you exactly how I like to do things when it comes to build orders, how I write it down, the things I pay attention to, and how I like to practice my build order as well to make the most out of my very limited time that I have in the day. I, of course, only have 9 to 10 hours a day to play StarCraft. So yeah, I need to make use of every single one of those hours properly in order to be a solid top 15 European. All right, let's hop straight into the replay as we have Zest versus Cure here. And whenever I get into a replay, I like to watch a replay once or twice. In theory, you can do it at once, but I have the attention span of a slow snake. Snakes have probably a pretty good attention spans. Of a dog. I have the attention span of a dog. Dogs have very good attention. A goldfish. So I need to usually watch something twice. Now, the things I like to pay attention to are probe movement, see what probe builds what, scouting timings, how people rally into gases, where chrono boost is being spent, and of course just overall timing of the buildings. Now, if you're not familiar with how we write things down in StarCraft 2, we use the supply that you're currently at. So not your supply capacity, which in this case would be 23, but the supply we're currently at. So we built a pylon at 14 supply, and we built a gateway at 16 supply. So I write it down, 14 pylon, 16 gate, 17 assimilator. You see that probe gets rallied onto the gas. That's something you can write down. The probe that comes out of the nexus just rallies straight onto the gas, so you don't have to pull anything away. Okay, now then the next probe doesn't get rallied onto the gas, and he instead rallies it onto a mineral patch. Now notice that all of his mineral patches have 2 workers on it. Okay, this one as well, you can see it. This is for optimal mining. So he rallies the workers to each individual patch. Now you could say that's a little bit tricky for me to do. I already have trouble getting down my assimilator in time, but you'll understand why I'm making note of these things now once you realize how I'd like to practice build orders and how I like to perfect the things before moving on to the next level, basically. Okay, so we rally 1 into the gas, and then our next probe gets rallied to this area to build our cyber core. It looked like he was gonna rally it down to the nexus, but I already watched this replay twice. Because I already recorded this video once, except I forgot to turn on my microphone. So, solid moves all around. We got the 20 Cybercore going down, and then a 20 Nexus. Now, do note that when I say 20 Cybercore, I mean we build the Cybercore the moment we can after the gateway finish, and 20 Nexus the moment we have money. Like in theory, you could wait for 5 more minutes and float 1,200 minerals, and then throw down the Nexus, but when we build a 20 Nexus, we want to get it as fast as possible. We get 1 more probe, then build a 21 pylon. Now, do also note that the probe that built the Cybercore then went down to the Nexus, then build a pylon at that location as well. So we're paying attention to everything. Building positioning, what probe builds what. We see that we scouted after gateway, by the way, might be important to note as well. The probe that built the Cybercore, the Nexus, and the pylon, as it returns with minerals it grabbed from the Nexus, it will also throw down the assimilator. So 1 probe was in charge of all of that, basically, which can be interesting. He then continues mining with it. 1 more patch downstairs, and then probably will just rally it into the gas. The moment his gateway finishes, he starts an adept, which is 23 supply. He chrono boosts that, and he throws down the warp gate research. Okay? So yeah, here we go. Keeps rallying into the gas. Maximum or optimal saturation on the minerals in the main base. Maximum would be 20 out of 16, as the faraway patches can have triple capacity, and it increases your income by a little bit, not by too much, but just by a little bit. Now, do note here immediately, he isn't actually going to send this out. I would recommend not sending that out as well, the way he does it. He throws down a Twilight Council the moment he can. The moment he has 100 gas, he throws down the Twilight Council. Now you can write it down as a number of supply, but you can also just write down at 100 gas, 150 minerals after you build your adept, and with continuous probe production, you throw down the Twilight Council. So the fastest possible time. Note, no extra chrono boost being used anywhere. Stalker will start once money becomes available or at 27 supply. And the moment he has money available with continuous probe production, he throws down a gateway at about 30 supply. Nexus finishes up. He's been rallying down there for quite some time already. And this is just the start of the build for now. Okay, now he scouts with the initial adept. He tries to see, hey, what's going on here? How many marines is there? Maybe I can spot a car, maybe I can spot a heli or a mine, maybe a tank or something like that. But let's not focus on that too much for now, okay? We see Blink starting the moment the Twilight Council finishes, and we see a single chrono boost being used. Now count the chrono boost on this. Like usually what I do is I speed up this part and I just look at this. I say, okay, 1 chrono boost, 2 chrono boost, 3 chrono boost. We're gonna get 4 chrono boosts. Okay, so then we write down 1, 2, 3. What was it? 4 chronos. I write down 4 chrono boost, and I can just go back into the replay. Control Shift O if you're in the same move, so you can kind of drag it back on this little bar, and we're back. So then we can slow it down here again, and we can slowly go over the rest of the replay as well. Now, we have continuous worker production up until this point. Another thing, of course, we're paying attention to. No chrono boosts are being used on anything except on the Twilight for now. Robotics facility, okay? 36 supply robotics facility, or at 320, or when you have the gas available for it, whatever you want. Only 2 gateway units pre-warp gate. These are things I always like to pay attention to. Pre-warp gate unit count is very, very important. Then we see, hey, he's already moving towards the 3rd base. There's no way, right? How's he going to be able to afford everything here? Well, he's about to show us. So he gets a 38 nexus. He adds 2 extra probes to 40. And then he actually starts with a probe cut, okay? So we could write down 40 out of 46, we start our probe cut. And the reason for this is because once warp gate finishes, we want to immediately warp in 2 stalkers, and we want to be able to get a pylon and a prism. Now he's actually a little bit late with the pylon for the simple reason that this probe was being harassed by this poor probe was being harassed by this Reaper and this Hellion. Okay, so he throws down the 2 stalkers, he gets a pylon. This one can be a little bit earlier, you can see it. Okay, well, like you can kind of make sense of this, right? This pylon probably should have been faster. In that case, he can produce workers quicker, but in this case, it's 44 out of 46, and then he gets the prism here on this thing. Also note that the probe that usually would probably build the pylon over here is then going out on the map to build more pylons around the map for spotting purposes. Okay, so that's the same probe that builds the nexus, builds a pylon here, or in this case over here, then goes builds a pylon here, maybe even wants to build a pylon over here, could also build a pylon here, just to see, hey, is there any medevacs coming my way? Note that after 46, we want to restart our probe production, and we're doing continuous stalker production. So in this case, I stop writing down numbers of supply numbers, and I just think, okay, I want continuous probe production, continuous stalker production, and I want to make sure I don't get supply blocks. So at this point, the game moves so fast that writing down supplies would just be kind of annoying. It just takes a lot of time, and usually you can kind of figure it out in your head. So continuous stalker production, continuous probe production. Whenever your warp gate is ready, you just warp in stuff, okay? You throw one chrono onto the prism, and you build a couple of pylons on the map, and you try to spot, hey, where the heck is this medevac coming from? Now, ideally you would see this, but because the pylons were a bit late, he doesn't. That sucks. That really does suck, actually. His blink is easily done before this medevac drop arrives. Keep the stalkers kind of in between, ideally. He didn't really keep them in between, but usually you have them here, so you can blink down, you can blink over here. Try to actually attack it, the madman. Splits his probes, and it's like, okay, this was a fun time. Blinks forward and gets both the mines, only losing 3 workers, loses a 4th worker over here. Has the prism across the map with continuous stalker production. And then the timing we're kind of hitting here is we want to hit with about, 9 stalkers, 1 adept, a prism on the other side of the map. after clearing the drop, or if there's no drop, we just move across the map anyway. This is our goal. We'll have 45 workers. It says 41, but he lost 4 of them. So we want 45 workers. We want 1 adept, 9 stalkers, and a prism of 2 gates, 2 gases, and 3 bases, and about 66 out of 85. Now, because this is a real game and he lost a couple of workers, we can probably do slightly better than that. So whenever you have a replay of someone playing, things are always going to go wrong, right? He's dealing with the Reapers, something will be a little delayed. So we're always aiming slightly higher than what we see in the replay. So we try to do the best possible with the information that we get from the replay, and then we try to slightly improve that. And that's going to be the build that we kind of strive for, the build that we want to be getting. So a very short build order, only 5 minutes and really 10 seconds, and then we just attack with this build. We can look at how he micros that. We can't really write that down. It's harder to say, oh wow, I want a micro like X, you know. It's just not quite as easy. But this is basically the initial goal we're working towards. If you can hit this build order, you're just gonna kill most of the Terrans, okay? Either that, or you're gonna be so far ahead that you should be fine. When you have 3 bases, like I said, up to at least Diamond 2, Diamond 1, you should be able to pretty consistently win with this if you hit all the right timings. Now here I do write down a timing, which sucks because it's not going to be too easy to actually follow our timings. I'll explain all of that in a little bit, okay? Or well, right now. So let's hop into our first game. All right now we're in the lobby of our first custom game to try and practice the build order. And here we change something. So we can play instead of on the faster speed, which is the normal game speed, even though it's called faster, we can play it on normal game speed. This will allow us to get all of our timings down properly and do everything in a proper way. This is how I tend to practice my build orders with off-race. I usually start on fast, or I start on faster, then realize I can't do it because I'm trying to read the notes at the same time. I just go to fast, just slow it down a little bit, makes it easier to do. Same way that if you're practicing a difficult piece on an instrument, you try to slow it down first to then come back and speed it up immediately. And we can just go up in speed. Every time you completely hit something perfectly, you just go 1 up in speed. And you can start slower, you can start on slowest. There's 5 different speeds, and this is basically the 3rd level. I'm also going to be explaining a bunch of things during this because it gives me a little bit more time to speak. This is the normal speed. It feels pretty slow the moment you start with it, but that gives you a lot of time to do cool things. Like you can actually, if you've never done it before, you can start microing your probes onto the correct mineral patch, you know? You see all the close mineral patches are already occupied. You can think about things like building placement, unit movement in extreme detail, basically. And you just have a lot of time to look over your notes. So you go, okay, 14 pylon, I built my 14 pylon. Then what's next? I see 16 gate, 17 gas. Okay, cool. Well, all of that while having, of course, perfect probe micro. You see, all of them mining from their patch, none of them bouncing around. That's absolutely beautiful. We start, bang, straight away go with that chrono boost on the Nexus. The only chrono boost in the Nexus we're gonna do in this build order. And then we rally this probe, remember. It's going to be rallied onto the gas. Oop. And then the final mineral patch. Oh, I'm actually supposed to scout after gateway. It's okay, we can scout like this. See, even on the slowest speed I can mess things up. Set up your camera hotkeys as well, if you have them. If you don't have them, get camera hotkeys and then set them up. It's going to be in hotkeys, and then I think global settings or something like that, or camera settings, I don't know. There's a word for it. You rally this into the gas. You can start rallying this down already. Then the next one you can just rally over here. So 1 into the gas rally, then 1 towards your cyber core. That's going to be the probe that builds the core, the Nexus, and followed up with the pylon. Our first probe is still moving across the map, looking for that scout. Now, the one thing I have to admit, which is quite annoying, is that if you're playing in slower game speed, is that the time gets messed up. Blizzard didn't think about that they should slow down this time, so it all feels kind of weird. You also see that the build time is like 50 seconds, rather than the build time being the regular 36. So they messed it up by a certain factor, which means if you're working towards a benchmark, you need to actually do some math, which sucks, because I know not everyone that follows me finished elementary school. I know I also struggled there, don't worry guys. So get your next gas. I actually built a 20 pylon, 21 gas rather than 21 pylon, 22 gas. And see, hey, marine first. I piss off with my probe. And I sent this one over here. Now I should be about ready with my cyber core. There we go. Nice. And we'll be rallying this into this gas as well. So far pretty clean game. Now, the reason why we're not going to send this adept across the map is because we delay our second unit by quite a bit, okay? The reason why we delay our second unit by quite a bit is because we want to get a very fast Twilight Council. If we send this adept across the map, a Reaper might come in and start killing our workers, which is obviously not quite what we want. Boom, bidon. Let's get our Twilight Council. We start rallying our workers down. And then we get our Stalker as a second unit. We only do a single chrono in total on our Nexus. That is after our first pylon finishes up, of course. We get our Stalker. And then we can get our gateway at 29 supply. Look at us being fast. That's ridiculous. We're so good at this game sometimes. Oh, that's beautiful. You can even micro this one back. See? Lots of time for things like this. Little improvements that usually you might not be able to do. But because we have so much time, it's fun to at least practice them, right? I always find things when they're slower a lot more fun. You can really do them properly rather than hurrying a build and making mistakes. And you'll notice that once you get it down in a slower speed, it becomes 10 times easier at a higher speed as well. And we even have some final bosses, which I can show you guys. So we get our 2 units. Zest to move out with the adept at this point. And who are we to doubt Big Zest? So we're going to be doing the same thing. We make sure that we hit every single chrono boost, basically the moment that we can. So 38. Oh, sorry, 30. Up. It's going to be around 40. I actually think we might have been a little bit too late with our first one. That's okay. Oh no, the times are different. I keep forgetting. Then what was it? Robo at 37. So I'm going to be like half a second late with it. And that gets followed up by a Nexus at, I think it was 40. 39, doesn't matter too much. Now, we throw another chrono boost on this. And 40 workers we cut. And we throw down 2 stalkers, followed up by a pylon as I'm losing my adept across the map. Okay, this one's gonna continue building more dudes. We can start extra probes already because we actually did build a pylon in time, which is big, of course. Big if true. And we get one more chrono boost here. We get a pylon over here. Whoop. And a pylon over here. Now these pylons are for spotting the medevac. You see we have them nice in time. A little bit supply blocked here, not the end of the world. And we get more probes down. Now it's important that we start our prism the moment we can. So you see, we're not following the complete build order because we're actually doing it slightly tighter here than Zest is, which is interesting to see, of course. We get this pylon down. Boom, pidon, pidon. And you see we have, we're basically hitting a very, very solid timing here. A very, very solid timing. You see, we're building continuous workers. We can warp in 2 more stalkers. We even chrono boosted this once. And you'll see we'll actually be hitting a little bit faster than Zest. You can't see it here because the timing is all messed up because of how bad the blizzard thing is. But that's okay. Just get another pylon. Here we're killing the medevac. Pom, pidom, pidom. All good, all good. Continue worker production. And we can start moving across the map. We have 7 stalkers. We have 1 adept. Then we do our final warp in. The final scene. Whoop. And we got our 9 stalkers. We got our 2 adepts. We can start an observer. Now, people will be wondering, well, I got this now and I'm microing, or in a real game you would be microing, what can I do behind it? You can start charge if you want. You can start a forge, extra gateways, and just go into a pretty standard charge lot charge lot blink stalker composition, get a third gas, go up to 8 gas or 8 gates eventually, while continuously be building probes, right? And you can add in more stalkers on the other side of the map, of course, while you're microing against your opponent. So that's going to be the basic build order that we do here. I will have this replay in the description, so if you want the benchmark of this speed, I will leave that in the description. After this, I'm going to show you guys the benchmark that we really want to be hitting in the fastest thing, and then we're going to go one level faster in case you really think you know the build order well. So let's hop into our second level. All right, here we are. This time I'm putting it on faster speed, which is the normal game speed, by the way. We put our opponent on Terran and we give him an economic focus, so he doesn't really bother us with some weird single Marauder adept push or something like that. Now, this is for me going to be the second level, because I don't want to go through too many. It would be pretty boring. But you guys can, of course, go through all 5 if you want, and then I'll show you the bonus one afterwards as well, which, well, there's a couple of bonus ones, but really, I think there's only one extra that you should be doing. I'll show you guys what I mean, though. No worries. So here we go with the regular timings. You see everything is moving as fast. I'm still trying to get my probes to mine as properly as I can. It probably took a little bit longer than it did last game because, well, everything is just moving faster. We have one probe even moving like an idiot right now and bouncing around like his life depends on it. Just have a little less time to take care of these things, of course, but it's good practice to do this on the slowest mode, and you can really get things down that way. So we start sending things now. I understand that one of the worries is that, well, we're gonna get used to the slower timings and we won't be able to actually play it faster. That's not actually the case. It actually helps more if you practice it slowly first. Now, of course, you still need to eventually work up to that faster speed, right? But it's the same, like this is how I think every single musician in the world practices. There is a reason for that. It's just easier to initially learn something if you do it slow than if you speed it up. It will be easier than if you just keep doing it improperly at very high speed. Like, it's just better to do it properly at low speed and then take those proper habits that you created into a higher speed. And you're gonna learn way faster. I'm pretty sure there's some studies on that. I can't be bothered to do my research. I forgot to scout, by the way, which is fantastic. I'm talking too much, but we can scout like this now, right? I'll build Nexus pile and then we'll scout after, okay? So we're actually gonna be hitting a little bit faster because I have a little bit more money. That's going to be completely fine. You guys can copy the build like this or you can scout. I don't care about it. Scout after gateway, of course. So we send it out. I once again build a 20 pylon rather than 21. I tend to prefer that. It's not the biggest of deals. Okay, these are small variations. Oh, mess up some of my probe mining. The cybercore isn't done yet. Get chrono boost on that thing. And then we start rallying into the gas. And we get our Twilight Council going. Of course, one of the main things of this build is the fast Twilight Council before our second gateway unit. That's very, very important because we just want a very quick, very rapid blink. We get a Stalker. And we follow it up with a 30 gateway, or we can get a 29 gateway. It really doesn't matter that much. It really does just not matter that much. Our probe is returning home, pumpy-dumpy-dum. We make sure this guy sends his minerals back to this one rather than walking all the way back up. And we will now start our blink the moment we get our 150 gas available. We chrono boost it the moment we start it, like a good boy. And then the moment we get our next 100 gas, we're going to invest that straight away into a robotics facility, which I think we might even be able to rally this probe. That would be beautiful. We can almost rally it properly. Isn't that great, guys? Second chrono, a little bit late, by about 3 seconds, but it's not going to be the end of the world. Should be probably thinking of sending a worker down here at this point. Whoop. This worker's going to move down. 39. One more chrono boost. We don't want to pile in yet. First we want our next warp in of 2 stalkers. Whoop. And then Oh, I realize I'm building one too many probes. I'll cancel that. Because we of course do want to get our prism on time. And you see the build works out really nice right now. Get our next pylon. And get our next pylon over here. We want 2 more stalkers. Nice. And then we can continue worker production again. Our blink finishes up 418 in game. Very, very rapid. So that's nice. And we can get 1 more of these. Continuous worker production again at this point. Should have probably chrono boosted this, but I forgot. Painful. You know, but you know, some things are in life are just painful. You need to get used to them. So we're gonna go up to 7 workers right now. Our prism is going to be a bit slow to the other side of the map. We can even start an observer. You know, you have little improvements already that we can do here. We don't really need another pylon. We just actually simply don't need it. And the timing that Cess was hitting says 5:08, and we're gonna be hitting. Well, we're finished at 5:04. So honestly, not bad. I'm pretty happy with this. Now the follow-up is going to be, like I said, just this extra gateway. You just blink in the main base. You know, we want to. Whey! I said blink in the main base. Beautiful. And we win the game. Wow. Beautiful. So we have a lot of things going on for us here, and you can continue, you know, practicing this part as well if you want. I'll just play this replay because it's gonna be the main replay. I'm just gonna put this replay in the description as well, so you guys can have like a proper, well, a semi-proper follow-up. Okay. So going up to 6 gateways already. Then we're completely saturated on our 3rd. We get 2 more gates. And at this point, we can just start our unit production. And probably go kill our opponent with like a +1 armor timing. Okay, that's going to be the goal as a follow-up. So yeah, that's basically going to be it. We're going to be working that off of 3 gas. Can get immortals as well if you want. I don't really care, honestly. Hey, okay, GG. So that's going to be this replay. And then you might think, well, Kevin, that surely has to be it, right? You can't play it faster than this. Wrong. If you type in mod, there's 2 things. You have the one under 25% game speed, and you have the 2.0 one. The 2.0 is very, very fast, okay? This is very freaking quick. Don't start with that. I actually never do that. But if you want, you can practice on 125% game speed. So this is going to be the final level. We put it on faster. We give our opponent, once again, an economic focus. And this is if you feel very comfortable in your build order, you can practice it at the highest speed. I wouldn't recommend this unless you're low grandmaster or masters, probably. You probably can get it down. And it's just nice to be sure that it basically adds a little bit of stress, which could be the stress that gets added into a real game, you know, with a Reaper harassing you, with some guy trash talking you, and with your mom telling you to go clean the dishes, and you explaining her for the millionth time that you can't pass an online video game. Yeah, everything just moves a bit faster. I don't recommend practicing too much on this because it might mess up your especially if you play real games in this, it might mess up like your timings of stutter stepping and stuff like that, and how units move. In general, you just kind of want to be practicing at the regular speed once you get the build orders down. It's really just exclusively for playing build orders, I would say. Don't start playing like actual custom games on this speed against your friends. It's not that useful. Trust me, I've tried. You just messes up your Oracle micro. I forgot to scout again. So yeah, we're just gonna be doing the build on this speed. See if we can get it down at appropriate timings and all of that good jazz. The nice thing at doing things at high speed is that you can fit in many build orders in very little time. You know, if you only have like 5 minutes left, and you can do it at two times speed, you can fit in two games. That's nice. Nexus. Follow this up with a pylon. Of course, this works for every race. Imagine spreading creep at 1.25 times speed. Like, everything's gonna feel so slow in a real game afterwards. Warp gate. So we're getting all of our things really done properly here. I'm gonna send this one back home. Chrono boost our adept. I'm also just, like I said, all of these replays are just going to be in the description below. So if you do want to see if you're up to the task, then you definitely can do that. I of course don't have any replays for the slowest speed. I actually did a part, but actually this video would have been like 3 hours long if I would have continued with that. We get our extra stalker, and here we go. Absolutely beautiful. This is looking solid already. You see my probe micro is a little bit worse than in the other game, because everything, even for me here, is moving quite fast. I'm not used to the speed, of course. Now the nice thing, if you play the build like 4 times on this speed, afterwards it's gonna feel real slow when you play on faster, which is, you know, it's kind of what you want. Well, not sure if that is what you want. If that is what you want, then this is a good way to achieve it. So we're gonna be throwing down our robo. Hop. Next chrono boost. One more worker, and then we get, I think it's a 39 on my paper. Oh, even 38 nexus. I've been building it one supply too late. Yikers. That's some massive yikes. Yeah, we messed something up at least. We don't actually quite have the money to do everything that we want. This one goes here, and we wait a little bit. We have our chrono boost basically ready. Oh, I forgot to send out my probe to build the pylons in the different positions. Now, this is what I mean, you see? Even I can make mistakes in these things. You could say, why are you not chrono boosting this? You can, but I was a little bit late with some of my chrono boosts, so then it doesn't have too much use. Oh, I'm late with my stalker warp in. Let's start this bad boy. And we can swap these units over here. So, you see, this actually isn't very fast at all. I'm gonna be relatively late. Actually, not this one yet. And then the next two. Whoop. And we kind of finished the build again. So, good little job by us here. Finish this one. Will be in the description below. Now we have one more. We have one more. The final one. And that's going to be the 2 times speed. I don't do this, okay? This is, I think it's too fast, basically. Fast harvesting? No, I don't want fast harvesting. What is this? Add AI, faster, and game privacy, no match history. Here we go. We should be done in about 2.5 minutes, though, so that's going to be nice. 2 times speed, the math becomes a little bit easier. God knows with these percentages, I wouldn't know how to do it. Put a gun to my head, man. Yes, elementary school was rough indeed. Now, we're gonna... Whoop, ooh, look. Ooh. Ooh, this is... Oh, I forgot to send it out. Oh no, I'm not going to be capable of getting everything. No wall this game, no wall this game. It's too fast for me. It's too fast for me. You go over here. I forgot the chrono as well. This one's supposed to go here. Oh man, this is fast. Chrono boosting workers is almost like a bad thing at this point. I can't even select them. Okay, you go here, you go here. No, wait. First cybercore. I haven't even set my things yet. No, where are you going? Oh crap, I'm completely messing this up, am I not? I'm completely messing this up. So yeah, 2 times speed, it can become a little bit tricky. I can't even select these stupid workers. They're just too fast. No, no, oh my god. You go here, you go here. It would be kind of fun to see like some actual games being played on this speed, no? No, I accidentally chrono boosted. Crap. Yeah, it's moving too fast. It's for my slow brain can handle. I forgot my second gate as well. So, yikes. Yeah, that's actually gonna be rough. We need this. Chrono boost that a couple of times. third base. Oh, wrong side. It's over here. 38, I said, right? For some reason I'm supply blocked. My gateway isn't done yet. I forgot my robo as well. Well, you see, guys. Even for me, certain things are just a little bit too difficult. You can play 10 hours and apparently 2 times speed isn't quite it. So, if you found this useful, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Helps me a lot. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. That also helps a lot. And leave a comment down below if you want more of these basic explanations of how to improve. If you don't give a crap about that, that's also fine. Also leave that down in the comments below, because engagement is engagement. No such thing as bad publicity. And I hope to see you all at a new time. Maybe tomorrow for a new video, for example. See you next time. Bye bye, guys.